You thought you were living a normal life, with nothing to hide. But what if the government was spying on you without your knowledge? According to Snowden, a former National Security Agency NSA contractor, the government has access to your most private information, your emails, your phone calls, your internet search history. They could be watching your every move, listening in on your conversations, and tracking your location. What if they were using this information against you? What if they had the power to ruin your life, just because they didn't like what you said or who you associated with? The thought is terrifying, and it begs the question, how much privacy do we really have in this digital age? The Chinese government is shrouded in secrecy, like a veil that hides its true intentions. Its leaders operate in the shadows, making decisions that affect the lives of millions without any transparency or accountability. Who are these mysterious figures, and what is their endgame? Rumors swirl of corruption, espionage, and even assassination. No one knows who to trust or where to turn for help. But one thing is clear, the Chinese government will stop at nothing to maintain its power and control. And those who dare to stand in its way may pay the ultimate price. Edward Snowden, a former National Security Agency NSA contractor, has made several claims about China and the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, based on his experience working in the intelligence community and his access to classified information. Some of the unnerving revelations include tales of economic espionage, stealing intellectual property, and sensitive information from US companies and government agencies, engagement in large-scale cyber espionage against the United States and its allies, details about the vast network of cameras, facial recognition technology, and other tools that allow the government to track the movements and activities of its citizens, and that this surveillance is used to maintain social control and suppress dissent, had sent shockwaves across the world. What if it is just the tip of the iceberg? This brings us to Tencent, one of the largest and fastest growing tech companies in the world. Why is it that some people are completely oblivious to its name? Today, let's take a closer look into Tencent, the tech giant that notoriously monopolized the Chinese market. The founder of Tencent, Ma Huateng, otherwise known as Pony Ma, started Tencent with a group of his friends from school back in 1990s. One of Tencent's key strengths was its early entry into the Chinese internet market in the late 1990s. Tech companies often copy the products and ideas of their competitors to leverage their success. Pony Ma chose to tread through the same path. The company launched OICQ, a clear ripoff of the already up and running ICQ, an instant messaging service. Ma had to sit in through conversations with strangers initially, since it had not been picked up yet. It started gaining some traction by allowing users to contact strangers and build new relationships, a feature not yet available on ICQ. It slowly began to gain popularity in China. Chinese servers were busy at the time, so ICQ was initially bleeding money. It became worse for him when the lawyers of the company he ripped off, AOL, contacted him, asking to take down the service. Ma was in a rough spot. This is where he first heard of venture capital. With his brutally honest pitch, unlike the overconfident Covials at the time, Ma successfully took his foot out of the grave. Tencent's stake was first bought by Naspers, a South African media and internet group. In 2001, Naspers acquired a 46.5% stake in Tencent for $34 million, which turned out to be a very profitable investment. Naspers' investment in Tencent is often cited as one of the most successful venture capital investments in history. ICQ rebranded itself to QQ and was running with great success at this point. Pony Ma was now looking for ways to monetize the service. He sorted out ways of making the service more expressive, and thus was born the idea of avatars. QQ users were able to customize their profile pictures with virtual avatars, which became a popular feature among Chinese internet users. Tencent capitalized on this popularity by introducing virtual teams such as clothing and accessories that users could purchase to enhance their avatars. The company saw significant revenue growth as a result. Pony Ma noticed something peculiar about the conversations that occurred on the chats. Youngsters often discussed games and whereabouts of each other's scores. This gave him an idea to start gaming on his platform. In 2001, Tencent acquired a 40% stake in Epic Games China, a Shenzhen-based online gaming company, which marked the beginning of the company's foray into the gaming market. Over the years, Tencent continued to invest in and acquire other gaming companies, such as Riot Games, Supercell, and PUBG Corporation. and developed its own online gaming platforms such as QQ Games and Tencent Games. Tencent's online gaming platforms quickly became popular among Chinese internet users, and the company saw significant revenue growth from its gaming business. In addition to its domestic gaming market, Tencent also expanded its reach into the global gaming market through its investments in foreign gaming companies and partnerships with other international gaming companies. Tencent was now on top of its game. Tencent had a reputation of being a company that notoriously and blatantly copied other services. However, at this stage, Ma chose a different path. In 2011, Tencent launched the Tencent Incubator, which provides resources and support to startups in a variety of industries, including internet, mobile, and software. The incubator offers funding, office space, mentorship, and access to Tencent's vast network of resources and contacts. This helped them to introduce many other services, expanding their portfolio even further. Tencent is now known by the name WeChat app, a social media platform. An interesting feature about WeChat is the mini program feature on the app. This includes every feature needed to live a normal life in China today: facilities for online payment, e-commerce, food delivery, travel booking, gaming utility tools such as checking the weather, translating text or managing finance, learning features, and more. An average Chinese person couldn't turn their heads away from WeChat at this point. With its ever-growing popularity with millions of users, why was it not being used worldwide? This is where things get a little too fishy. The Chinese government let the company grow and flourish within the country for its own benefits. Their idea was simple: give back to the country. Data privacy is a much talked about subject. Data privacy has become a growing concern as individuals share more and personal information online in China at this point, often without fully understanding how that information is being collected, stored, and used. The Chinese government had full access to all the details of its citizens now, from their buying tendencies to their private conversations. Thus ensued mass surveillance. In 2017, there were reports that WeChat was monitoring user accounts for suspicious activity, including politically sensitive topics and discussions. The Chinese government has also been known to use WeChat data to track and monitor dissidents and political activists. WeChat was using automated censorship systems to filter out sensitive keywords and block content that is deemed politically sensitive or inappropriate. There have been reports that the Chinese government is using data collected through WeChat and other digital platforms to categorize citizens into good and bad categories based on their online behavior and activities. This system is known as the social credit system and is intended to incentivize good behavior and punish bad behavior. Creepy, right? The social credit system uses a range of data sources, including WeChat conversations, online purchases, and social media activity, to evaluate individuals' behavior and assign them a score. Individuals with high scores are rewarded with perks such as discounted travel and access to loans, while those with low scores may face penalties such as restrictions on travel. During the COVID-19 pandemic in China, WeChat came under scrutiny for its role in facilitating government surveillance and censorship. The Chinese government used WeChat to disseminate information about the virus and to track and monitor citizens' movements and activities in order to contain the spread of the disease. However, there were concerns that the government was using WeChat to censor information and suppress dissenting voices. Reports emerged of WeChat users being punished for sharing information about the virus that conflicted with official government narratives, and some users reported having their accounts suspended or deleted for sharing critical or sensitive content. Additionally, the use of WeChat to track and monitor citizens' movements raised concerns about privacy and civil liberties. The Chinese government used WeChat to track individuals' health status and travel history, and some users reported being required to use WeChat to scan QR codes in order to access public spaces such as restaurants and shopping malls. Some countries, including the United States and India, have either banned or restricted the use of WeChat due to concerns about data privacy, security, and censorship. Despite all the chaos, WeChat still continues to be popular in China. The choice to prioritize convenience over privacy can have different motivations. Some people may simply be unaware of the risks to their privacy or may not fully understand the extent to which their personal data is being collected and used. Others may be willing to track some privacy in exchange for the convenience and benefits of the service, believing that the benefits outweigh the potential risks. It is important to note that the choice between convenience and privacy is not always a clear-cut decision. Many individuals may be willing to share some personal information, but not all, and may be willing to use a service that offers some convenience, but not at the expense of their privacy. Ultimately, the decision to prioritize convenience over privacy is a personal one, and individuals should carefully consider the risks and benefits before making a choice.